Call this meeting back to order. We move into public hearing. The first hearing on these items, Ms. Combs?
So before we start, the majority of my items have companions, so if it's okay with you, I will present companions together.
Yes, please.
All right. So the first couple of items we have are first reading, so no action required on these. The first group that we have here is for ordinance number 2025-37, a small-scale land use amendment, request of agriculture B to very low-density residential, and the companion ordinance number 2025-38, rezoning, with the request of agriculture 7.5 to residential conventional mobile home 2.5. So this application should look a little familiar. You heard this a couple months back. The first time you heard this application, the request was for RCMH 1, not RCMH 2.5 that you see now. The parcel is off of Wilbanks Lane, which comes off of Otis Arbor. It is 7.51 acres. So it's the intent of the current property owner to be able to have the flexibility for their children to live there with them in the future. So when we first looked at this application, there was some 1 acre zoning across on the other side of Wilbanks Lane. So that was initially, just to kind of keep things similar. That was the initial ask. So you guys asked that we have some additional conversations with the property owners, and we've done that. So currently, the ask is for RCMH 2.5 of this 7.51 acres. Right now, the property owners could build one site-built home. It's currently in compliance the way it is now, but for their future family development is why we are asking for any sort of request. So you can see where Wilbanks Lane is. You have Ag 7.5 and Ag B on one side, and then you do have RCMH 1 and very low density residential on the other side. So that 1 acre request and that 2.5 acre request both fall within that very low density residential. So the intent of the property owners at this time would be to create 2 parcels out of this 7.5 acres, both of which would be more than 2.5 acres. That would be for them and for their oldest child at this time, and then would still leave them the flexibility to give the second child a family lot in the future. They're not quite ready to, when our children are young, they may not be ready to come home yet and be on the property with them. So this allows them to have a lot for themselves and for their daughter with the flexibility of the family lot in the future. This parcel hasn't been recently subdivided, so there's no issue right now with them splitting the parcel between themselves and the daughter. And then any further division would be by way of family lot, so we would not be looking at any sort of subdivision process with this. We did have some conversation before about the easement of Wilbanks Lane. So it is there is a private, non-exclusive easement that goes along that those parcels for access. You'll see here, this would be one of the parcels that's created. This would be the second, and there's going to be an easement for ingress and egress along the shared border of those 2.
Would that be deeded? Is that a deeded easement?
Yeah, so both of those legal descriptions would reflect that easement for ingress and egress. It has not been at this time, but it will.
Is the plan to deed the case? You never know. If someone sells
Yes.
it, they got to have a way in and out.
Yes,
I
sir.
ain't saying they ever will, but still have the opportunity.
Yes, sir.
It's even better for them.
Yes, sir. And that's why thinking ahead, that's why went ahead to
And
populate
if
that.
they wanna do another family lot, it's easier
Yeah.
access with the deed.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with the recommended changes, staff recommends approval. LPA reheard this application last week as well, and they recommended approval too. The property owners are here. If you have any questions for them or any questions for me, I'm happy to answer. All right, we
Hearing
good?
none.
All righty. So the next group
I
that,
would like to say,
Okay.
I appreciate, I know that there was some talk back and forth in the previous time about this, but I really love the idea that's put together now that presented to the board. It's something that we can live with and the family can live with, and still getting everything that, what was wanted, but it's done, I think, in a better way. It looks out for the county and out for the family also, and the neighbors. So that's what it's all about. I appreciate y'all working with us on it.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
And thank staff for.
of course. All right, so the next group we have here is for ordinance number 2025-40, a small-scale land use amendment with the request of agriculture B to very low-density residential. And the companion ordinance number 2025-41, a rezoning request of agriculture 7.5 to residential conventional mobile home 2.5. So this parcel is located off of Bertha May Harris Road, which comes off of Cruise Road towards the 127 end of Cruise Road. So if we're looking at the aerial here, this right here is 127 north. And then this is Cruise Road that comes off of 127 just after the curve. That's where Bertha May Harris Road comes off of them. So the parcel total acreage is 27.66 acres, but we are only looking at 2.99 acres of that 27.66 acres. So the whole parcel has a current land use of Ag B and a current zoning of Ag 7.5. Along the front side of this parcel, towards the intersection of Cruz and Bertha May Harris, there is a mobile home that currently sits on the property. It is the intention of the property owner to sell 2.99 acres with that mobile home and then build a site-built home for their own use with the remaining acreage. So that is why you see a request of RCMH 2.5 only on 2.99 acres. It's only their intention to make that change for the portion of the property that they intend to sell, not for the whole, not for all of the acreage. The rest of the acreage, it's their intent to keep together with that site-built home. So if you look here at your different maps, you'll see that Bertha May Harris Road, which is right along here. Most of one side of the road is Ag B and Ag 7.5. The other side across the street is very low density residential and RCMH 2.5. So we did feel that it fit the culture of the area, having that directly across the street. There is a significant portion of this parcel that is within the FEMA flood zone. So of course, when a site-built home is built, there's going to be some elevation certificates and that sort of thing involved to ensure that the build is built to the standard that it needs to be. So I did put on the survey here. So this is a survey for that front 2.99 acres, and you can see right towards the center here, that is where the flood zone line is. So the mobile home is just outside of that flood zone. So of the 2.99 acres, you do see about half of it lies within that FEMA flood zone. But the mobile home is outside of that, as well as the other structures on the property. So other than that, right now, we would look at the parcel as compliant. The property owner has the acreage to be able to, add another dwelling to the property right now. They could, if they wanted to go ahead and build their site-built home, they could build it now. We would allow that, but it is their intention to be able to sell this mobile home and it be sold as a conforming lot when it sells. This parcel hasn't been split previously, so splitting just one piece of it would not trigger any sort of subdivision. But in the future, if they decided to subdivide the property anymore, a subdivision process would then be necessary. Other than that, staff recommends approval and LPA recommended approval as well. So, do you have any questions? Be happy to answer.
Couple questions. On the property, the homeowner knows if he splits it this time, the next time he splits it, it would require
Yes, sir.
subdivision rules, he would trip subdivision rules.
Yes, sir.
They are aware of that.
Yes, sir.
And that he also knows that anything built into this FEMA flood zone would require a FEMA.
Yes, sir.
Is that Bertha Mac?
Because I don't see anywhere you're gonna build a house on there that's not in
Right,
the flood
right.
zone.
And
There's one
there's,
little spot on the very back.
right, in that back
In
area.
that
And
back
and
area.
you'll
If you build in the
see,
back and then put a drive through that.
That's actually our intention.
Huh?
That's our intention.
Then you don't have to do the certificate.
yes,
That's
sir.
what I was just trying, I'm a builder, so I'm just trying to help you out.
Yes, I
But
appreciate it.
if you're looking at building in the back, probably 3 acres, maybe 3 or 4 acres, it'll be no problem, and you can leave the rest.
And you'll see around it, I mean, some of these other parcels, you'll see that's what they've chosen to do. This
I see.
one here,
Everybody-
they built right there. There, a couple of them couldn't be avoided, but
That
Yeah.
keeps you from building your house up here. That's all
Right.
I'm saying.
Is that a private road or do we? Bertha?
yeah, I think it's
Is that a
county
county?
maintained.
Yeah.
Right.
Cruise Road?
No, no cruise there.
Bertha
Mac. I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah,
county maintained.
yeah.
It is?
But
Okay.
the access to that property would be off of Cruise Road. It wouldn't be off of Bertha May. It'd be off of paved road.
Yeah, so they could, I mean, depending on which way they chose to access, if they
It could go
access
either
from
way.
Bertha May Harris, they would have to have an easement.
Gotta have an easement.
But they're gonna have direct access to Cruise
Oh,
Road,
okay.
so.
Is that the intention? That's my next question. So y'all,
That's what I,
Yes, our
the intentions of Cruise Road or Bertha May?
Off the curve on Cruise Road, kind of where the
what
property
the-
is, our intention is to pretty much shoot straight back to the.
Because if you wasn't gonna do that, then I was gonna ask if we could get a deed easement in the sale for you to be able to get to your property. But if you're using Cruise Road, you don't need it.
Yes, sir.
There's plenty of property between there and that
Right.
driveway.
Oh, yeah,
It's in the flood zone, but yeah. that's
Right.
yeah.
Any other comments? Moving on.
Okay, so those are all of the first hearing items that I have. The remaining items are for second hearing. The first one that you have, I do not have a PowerPoint for because it is strictly just an ordinance. So I brought this to you a couple of months back, and it is the property rights element that needed to be added to our current comp plan. We are in the process of updating that now, as you know, but this is something that it's an element that needed to be added before we were able to submit any land use amendments for Florida Commerce to be able to review. So you heard this a couple months back. This is one that required us to send to Florida Commerce and then come back. It came back. They had no questions and recommended second hearing. So that's where we are right now. So if you have any questions, it's on the surface. It just adds a very limited property rights element to our current plan that we,
It's something we already do.
yeah, it's something
But
we
the
already
legislature
do.
passed a bill that requires it to be part of our comp plan. That's all it is.
And you've read it,
Yeah.
everything's good.
Yes, sir.
Everything's legal
Yes, sir.
It's putting something we already practice into,
in the company.
There's some counties that
That means something.
have problems with this. We are not one of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's the pleasure of the group?
You have to ask for public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Any public comments about this item?
Motion to read ordinance 2025-39 by title.
Sorry.
We have a motion and a second.
Ordinance 2025-39, an ordinance of the Board of County Commissioners of Baker County, Florida, amending the Baker County Comprehensive Plan by adding a new property rights element, providing findings by the Board of County Commissioners, providing direction for recording, and providing an effective date.
All in favor of approving 2025-39, 29 signified by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Okay, and the last two items that I have are companions as well, so if it's okay, I will present them together. So this application is also one that you heard a couple of months back. It is a large-scale land use amendment, so it did require submittal to Florida Commerce before your second reading. So in your package, you should have those original staff reports that you that we discussed the first go-around, and then you'll also see the comments from Florida Commerce and the other entities that that responded. Okay, so this is for ordinance number 2025-29, a large-scale land use amendment with the request of Agriculture A to Agriculture B. And then companion ordinance number 2025-30, a rezoning request from Agriculture 10 and Agriculture 7.5 to Agriculture 5. So this is one of those applications that you will see an acreage difference for the land use request and the zoning request. The parcel has a total of 183 acres. The large-scale land use amendment is only for 113 of those acres. So right now, it is the intent of the applicant to sell their homestead property. They would like to do that with 5 acres. So with that is why you see a 5-acre request. The remaining acreage, just for clarity across the parcel, they have requested for all of the acreage to have that Ag 5 zoning. If at any time this was subdivided, an additional process would be required at that time. So we are only looking at the land use and zoning. There are no other applications on the table at this point. You'll see this was one of those areas that the land use and zoning map did not line up the way that ideally they would. So that is one of the reasons that you see that acreage discrepancy with the land use change and the rezoning request. So you'll see just the north triangle of this parcel is zoned Ag 10. That companion Ag A that goes with it, in a perfect world, only this triangle would be Ag A. But you see that is not the case. The parcel is almost split here between Ag A and Ag B. So the large-scale land use change would make that consistent throughout the whole parcel. You'll see a portion of the property is within the FEMA flood zone. It is the side of the parcel that goes along Bill Davis. That's where the wet area tends to flow along. So here you can see the photos and a survey that kind of puts all of the property together. We are discussing the large parcel as well as the small pieces here. So really, this is kind of squared off here. That's gonna give you that 180 some odd acres. So what you see on the survey here, that goes all the way to Bill Davis. And that gives you a better image of what you're looking at, as well as where the flood zone comes along in that parcel. Again, this was required because it was larger than 50 acres to be submitted to Florida Commerce. We heard back from Florida Commerce and the other entities that it had to be sent to. You'll see their responses there. There was no area of concern from them. So staff recommends approval. LPA had recommended approval at the same time when they heard it. So if you have any questions or any questions about the Florida Commerce response, let me know. And the property owner is here as well if you have any questions for them.
Just for point of clarification, this will clean up the 2.5 acre lots. There will be no more 2.5 on the side. These will all convert to 5 acres.
So everything, yes, everything would be zoned Ag 5.
Would it change the parcel numbers?
So that is a process that will still have to be done through the property appraiser's office. That's not a process that we can do. But that would allow them to put everything back together, and it all be matching.
Maybe I should have said it in a different question. Is it the intent of the homeowner to change the parcel numbers? To record this as one track instead of having so many different tracks? Because once they break their home off, which they legally can do, and then they'll have the big parcel.
Yes,
But if they break that parcel any other time,
right.
they trip the subdivision.
Right,
Which
and
is
that's-
the same thing I was talking with the
At-
other.
And as of right now, those 2.5 acre parcels would not be considered buildable. Even with the zoning change, they would not be considered buildable.
Right.
Everything would have to be put together and a process would have to happen in order for any of those to be considered buildable.
My concern is he's paying taxes on 2.5 acre tracts, which would go away if the parcel changed, the numbers change. If the parcel
Yeah, if they were
numbers
put back
don't
together.
change, you're still gonna pay the taxes on it
Yes,
because it's recorded that way.
yes.
So my advice would be go clean it up and then change all the parcels to one parcel number,
Put everything back together.
and then you save you a lot on taxes.
Yes, sir. It
I
absolutely
believe that
would.
was the intent the first time. Was that-
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you ever split it again anyway, it's gotta go to 5 acre tract.
Sure.
And then it's gonna come back here and we're gonna do subdivision rules.
Yeah, but even if they're even if they're combined into 5 acre pieces, in order for them to be considered buildable, a subdivision process would still be necessary.
Right.
It would meet the land use and zoning, but because it was not properly subdivided, it would not be considered. They're still not
But
conforming.
I'll say it's cleaner to save the homeowner money. Just clean
Absolutely.
it up now and then start from scratch.
Absolutely. And from
I'm not saying
talking,
they can't build or do whatever they wanna do later. but I'm
Right,
just saying,
right.
I'll save you some money, just clean it up.
and
you got
from
one
talking to
parcel
the
now.
property owner, it seems to be their intent to clean it
I
up
think
and
it's good. I just-
to save that.
It's been
in
so
taxes
long,
down
I
the
just wanted
road.
to bring everybody's memory back up.
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
That's all.
One question I got was
Sure.
the public works director. I wish Chris was still here. He's stating that we would need an additional 10-foot right of way on Reed Stafford and 20 foot on Bill Davis. Is that still the case?
Yes, sir, just for future paving needs. It wasn't a requirement of county staff
Right.
to have that, but it was a request.
And I think that was not necessarily for the land use and zoning
Right,
aspect of
definitely
it,
something.
but if there was going to be any future development, that would be a
That would be-
requirement of the
Okay.
county.
But for right now, we're fine until that point happens, if it happens.
Right,
Yes, I
right.
think so.
Okay.
Any other comments from the board? Any public comments on these 2 items?
Motion to read ordinance 2025-29 by title.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Ordinance 2025-29, an ordinance of the Board of County Commissioners of Baker County, Florida, making a large-scale land use amendment to the Baker County Comprehensive Plan by reclassifying approximately 113.61 acres of real property owned by Kelvin and Luann Cruz from agricultural A to agricultural B in order to change the future land use map, providing findings by the Board of County Commissioners, providing direction for recording, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
So this is 2025-29.
Yes, sir.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
A motion to read ordinance 2025-30 by title.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Ordinance 2025-30, an ordinance of the Board of County Commissioners of Baker County, Florida, amending the Baker County zoning map by reclassifying approximately 183 acres of real property owned by Kelvin and Luann Cruz from agricultural 10 to agricultural 7.5 to agricultural 5, providing for a change of zoning, providing direction for recording, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
So 2025-30. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. So, Ms. LaDonna, you got anything else?
So if you don't mind, if I can share something for just a moment.
Please.
So this week makes 3 years since I've interviewed to be part of the community development team. And that was a big change and a big leap of faith for me to do that. And when I was making that change, one of the biggest things was having to do this. If you've never stood on this side of the podium, it can be very, very intimidating, especially to begin with. And initially, when I had my first couple of meetings, and even before my first couple of meetings, when we were just talking about the job change, the first few staff reports that I had to prepare, I looked at those staff reports and I asked myself repeatedly, and I remember telling myself repeatedly, oh my God, what if Commissioner Bennett asked me a question? And I'll tell you, he was part of the most intimidating part of this. And at some point over the last 3 years, I can't even tell you exactly when it happened, but at some point over that time, it went from, oh my God, what if Bennett asked me a question, to what is Bennett going to ask me tonight? And like I said, I can't tell you when that happened, but at some point my mindset changed from being intimidated from that question to being challenged by that question. And I feel like it made myself and staff look at our applications different. It made us look at aspects of it that we may not have, because we wanted to be prepared for whatever challenge he was going to throw at us. And sometimes we weren't prepared for them. Sometimes we didn't agree with them, but it made us look at those applications different. So these staff reports were the first staff reports that I had prepared since Mr. Bennett's passing. And honestly, it was a little difficult because I was asking myself that question, but, you know, knowing that there was not going to be a question coming with that. So I just want to tell you, for me as a staff member, my goal is to continue to ask myself that question. What question is he going to ask me? I think it I think it makes me a better employee, and it makes the information presented to you guys better. So my ask of you is continue to challenge me and continue to challenge staff and think of those outside of the box questions that he would ask. Somebody still has to ask them. So that's it. And I apologize if it's not appropriate, but
Nope.
Very
it's
appropriate.
Well said.
everyone has a learning curve, and this has been a learning curve for all of us. I know, the same as I know it is for you guys to be sitting here. Just know that it's not just a learning curve for you all. It's for all of us. It is. So
We'll try to do our part. So,
absolutely, Joe, hold us accountable the same way that he would.
amen. Thank you.
We'll have the questions, you have the answers.
I'm gonna try, because I don't always have them. Sometimes he throws them at me and I don't have the answer, but just sometimes that mindset helps, just to know that they were coming. So
We'll move back into regular session. We're down to county manager comments. Miss Sarah?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not sure that I can go into as much detail as Donna has, but very well said. And from a staff perspective, preparing this agenda packet was a little different this time because we know that he liked to ask us challenging questions, and we appreciated those, honestly, from all of you. We did. So this time was a little different, sitting at my desk and putting this together and thinking of all of those things. And I kind of got a chuckle, and I have to share this with you all because y'all know I have to tell jokes sometimes. But Commissioner Bennett was adamantly opposed to consent agenda items. He did not like them. And so in effort to keep the flow of this meeting on the regular agenda short, because we anticipated maybe it being rough for us to be back in this room, to be quite honest with everyone that's listening. We purposely put quite a bit on the consent agenda. And I couldn't help but to chuckle at myself at what he would probably think to see an agenda page with 11 consent agenda items on
I
it.
was thinking the same thing.
He would have removed them.
He would have called me immediately and said, Sarah, what are you doing? And we probably would have had to revise that agenda to change that or either pull them when we were in here tonight. So I couldn't help but to think of that and how he would have maybe do that differently. But I appreciate you all. I know from the public it may have been difficult for some people to understand why we took such a break. But I want to make sure everyone understands that county business still happens, right? Like we were here and we were working. But it is a different dynamic sitting in this room today, and it's the first time that we've had to do that in about 6 weeks.
Yep.
And so we were not looking forward to that, to be perfectly honest with you all. So from a staff perspective, thank you all for the recognition of that and allowing staff some time to go through the process and to really prepare ourselves, and I know you all, to be in this room tonight for the first time. And I do want to say just a special thanks to Miss Audrey Kennedy and anyone that had a hand in that memorial. We wanted to recognize Commissioner Bennett in some way tonight and acknowledge his absence from this room. And I had no idea what she would do, but she is really great at those things and is very creative. And I asked her just whatever you think would be best in a way to honor him, and she did an outstanding job. And I just want to publicly thank her for putting in that extra effort and being able to do that. And that is all I have from me.
County attorney,
Nothing other than, as time passes, don't let the prayers stop for Kim, Chloe, and Colton.
Yeah.
That's all.
Commissioner Hartley?
I just have a couple questions. I think the boat ramp, I've got that. I still think I would hope we could open some part of it for use. I just can't,
We have repeatedly asked that
that is
question, and
just ridiculous.
the answer has been consistently no.
Yeah.
It's not safe to use as is, and we have not been allowed to do any repairs, and we
Right.
have been told that we cannot or we will forfeit moving forward
Right.
in the formal process.
And I understand that.
Yes, sir.
Has everything been okayed at the Council on Aging?
I
Air
have not
condition,
had
all
any
the- have you had
feedback
any
through the,
calls?
through the holidays. I have not had any conversations
I
with
guess
them
they
about-
hadn't been using the air condition much.
Yeah, it's not, and that's our fear
Yeah.
as well, is that.
Alright.
I will
And it
say
starts to
that that
pick
same
up again.
contractor obviously has built 2 of our fire stations. Full transparency, we have some issues there. COA is not the only building, I mean, it happens in new construction. They have been very quick to respond with anything that we've had there. And I've got faith that they'll continue to address any concerns we have, but I have not received any phone calls, since we've met about the building.
Okay. And the other is NAB Sports. Are we online to start as soon as Little League's over, that you know of, funding wise?
So from the initial conversations that Brooklyn and I had, yes. So it seems as though there are some full totals of those projects being allocated to ARPA where only the local match should have been allocated to that account, right? So on paper, we just need to clean that up. Until we get a final determination from the finance office that that has been done and that reconciliation is complete, I'm hesitant to say that formally, but yes, sir, that is the intent. And at this point in time, I do not see any issues moving forward with that
Okay.
plan.
I just want to make sure our volunteers and contractor
Yes, sir.
knows that well in advance to be ready to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have not
commence.
had any conversations with them recently outside of the Little League schedule,
Right.
and opening days, ceremony, which has just happened in the last, Friday afternoon, actually, but, once I know for sure, like I said, I want to make sure we know yes and not have to go back on that, but there's no indication that there'll be any problem at this point.
Okay. And the last one is the Ag Center.
Yes, sir.
What kind of updates? Is it
So
gonna be
they are
ready for
working on the punch
graduation
list now.
parties?
Yes, sir, they're very close. They're working on just final touches, touch-up paint.
It
There
just
was
seems
an
like
error.
it is taking a long.
It has, and the way, yes, a lot of change
The big
orders.
project has been completed for a
Right.
while. It's just-
I know
Yes,
it was
sir. And
every time they
The
have funding left.
flooring was done separately. It was not done with the building
Right.
contract, it was done with the flooring contractor, and there was a delay in getting that in. And then, of course, working through issues with moisture. There was some moisture testing done, and then, when some of the flooring came up, there were questions about what was underneath the flooring, and so that delayed for some more testing. But they are very close now, so they're working on the final punch list items now. Like I said, just touch-up paint. This, door trim needs to be, tightened, or, things like that. Nothing of any major concern. So they're very, very close to reopening now, yes.
Okay. All right. That's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Anderson?
A couple things. First thing I want to say is, we had Pastor Muncie here doing the thing, and I was actually with him in Nicaragua earlier this month, and he was preaching a sermon
Yeah.
on men's missions, and I thought that was pretty interesting to see him here, and then we was both together
Yeah.
on the mission field in Nicaragua, so I thought that was kind of original.
Yep, good Christian guy.
And then also, we, me, Commissioner Bennett, Darrell Register, and Mr. Mike
Mike Griffiths.
Griffiths serve on the regional council together. And Mr. Commissioner Bennett was the president of that regional council, so we have a decision to make whether the Baker County Board of County Commissioners wants to keep that. And I got to talk with the regional council. I haven't talked to them. I have talked to your father, Mike. I always call him Mike, so I don't want to. He's the city manager. He said he would be willing to serve, but it's busy, like the rest of us. And then I was thinking that in honor of Commissioner Bennett, if the regional council, I have served as president of the regional council before, but before I let us lose our spot in the regional council as 'cause of course, I don't know what Mr. Darrell Register's gonna do yet, but we'd be down to 2 spots in the regional council. Don't know what the governor's gonna do about putting another commissioner in, so if that's the case, we need to move one of our other commissioners to the regional council. But that would happen a little later on. But I think it's best for the county and for the region for me to step up if it's the board's will to be, and the regional council's will for me to step back in and finish the term for in honor of Commissioner Bennett. I'll never fill the shoes of Commissioner Bennett, I can tell you that. And he was a great man, done a great job, more than anybody ever gave him credit for. But if you was at his service and you seen the people he has touched, and not only in our community, but across this region, it was amazing to me. My eyes was wide open. So I'll never fill Commissioner Bennett's shoes, but I would love and honor Commissioner Bennett and out of the respect of Baker County to serve in his place. But that is a decision for this board, if they would like me to do that, or we could ask Commissioner, or Commissioner, City Manager Griffiths that he would be willing to stand in. And I haven't talked to the regional council yet, but I know that I'm not sure they would kick me out. I'm probably the longest serving member on the board now of the regional council. I've been there 15 years.
If I may.
Yes, ma'am, you may.
The regional council, it was my understanding, some loose conversations were that they would like for Baker County to still hold that position by either you or the city manager serving in Commissioner Bennett's place for the year. For Commissioner Bennett's seat, I think they were wanting to give it a little bit more time before we had some kind of discussions on how to fill it.
And that's
But you're absolutely right on the, they would like Baker County to still be represented this
And I
year,
think
is
it's
what
only right
I've been
for
told. Yeah.
Commissioner Bennett to me to serve in his place.
Yes, sir.
Not that I could fill his shoes, but I could still represent Baker County just like he did.
And I would like to see a county commissioner fill that position.
And then one of the representatives of the regional council is here, and I'll be talking with Beth, and she can get a hold of me, and if that's the wish of the regional council and their board, I would be honored to serve for Commissioner Bennett. Okay. I wasn't gonna talk about that tonight, but I did.
That's good.
The other thing is, I'm gonna try to keep it together. I've done a lot of hard things in my life, but I think this is one of the hardest. Me and Commissioner Bennett didn't always agree. God knows we agreed probably more than we just agreed. But I loved him like a brother because I knew where his heart was. It wasn't about Commissioner Bennett. And like she said earlier, it wasn't about, he just makes you better to be around him. He didn't want to put you down, he just wanted to make you better. Sometimes you come across like he was putting you down, running you in the ground, and I know he was hard that way. But it's because he loved you, and he loved Baker County, and he always wanted what was best for Baker County. Maybe he didn't do it the right way that we think sometimes, and that's okay.
Right.
We ain't all perfect. We don't always do the things the right way. But I can tell you where his focus, his heart, and his love was for his family first. No, his God first. His family, his community,
Yep.
his job, and then himself. He put everybody else, the man had to. You can't touch and do as much as he did without putting all those people ahead of yourself. And I hope that one day I can be a good man like Commissioner Bennett was. And he is going to be well missed by not only his family, his church, his fellow board commissioners, but this community has lost a great great asset
That's right.
when it comes to helping us with roads, the right contacts, the right people to talk to. And you might not have liked him, but you had to love him because he always stood for what he believed in.
Yeah.
And I respect him for that. I'm gonna miss him. And what I wanted to see, I don't know, but it just came to me today, I was on 125 North riding to Taylor. What does it take? He loved roads. He was a road man. And I guarantee you right now, Commissioner Bennett is sitting up yonder, telling those angels, that ain't how the way you pave the streets of gold. They gotta be at least 60 foot wide, with the ditches and the swells. God needed a better road builder in heaven, so he went, and who else to get James Bennett? But anyway, what does it take for us to get a name with his name in honor of James, Commissioner James? I'd like for the 125 north of the powder store, all the way to Taylor,
Okay.
be honored to Commissioner James Bennett. What is the proper, it's a county road.
A county road, we would just have to pass a resolution, but for any sort of state road, we could ask Representative Brandon and Senator Bradley.
But this is a county road.
You all would handle it locally. You tell me to put a resolution on the next agenda, and then we just have signage put up. County roads are very easy.
Yeah, I think we already did it for the, was it the Vietnam Veterans
We
Memorial
have, yeah.
Highway?
Well, I
And
just
the,
wanted to make sure we
Korean
done it
War
properly
Memorial
and went through the right process.
Yes,
I know it's
sir.
a county road.
Yes,
I didn't know if we had to deal with the state on that or not, or just something that we could.
Not for a county road, only if, like sometimes there's roads that are county and state roads, then you have to go to the state.
Yeah. The chairman and I actually did talk at length about this a couple of weeks ago, and we agreed a road,
I don't think you have to go from Glen to 120,
Right,
whatever y'all think.
something in honor
But
of him.
I think that
Mhm.
that's what he loved. He loved roads.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I think the best way to honor him is by people seeing his name
Mhm.
over one of our roads.
Yes, sir. We agree. I think it's a great idea, and we're actually working on some suggestions for you guys. to
Well, I
bring back.
appreciate that, but it's
Yes,
just
sir.
something that I was riding out there thinking about him, and it just come to my mind, and
Yes, sir.
I thought it'd be something I'd share with the board.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Commissioner Mobley.
Yes, sir. The pending business report with the Now Sports Complex.
Yes.
I did have a couple people reach out to about sponsoring,
Okay.
sponsorships
Yeah,
too.
I have to. Yeah.
So that's definitely something we want to look into. I know there's a lot of local businesses and
Yes.
local people that would love to help sponsor. I think First Federal was a title sponsor or something.
They
that
were.
we
True Five
spoke
reached
about.
out also.
True Five's reached out as well.
Mhm.
So let's definitely take that into mind whenever we try to go forward with that.
Yes, sir.
I definitely second Commissioner Anderson's thoughts on the road. Something I've thought about as well, and he definitely was one of a kind. I think he made each of us better. Sitting beside him here, we all learned from him. I think each and every one of us could say that. One thing that I would think that he would say was government don't stop.
Yes.
It's not built so that if one man's not there, that it comes to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
I mean, in this case, it was devastating, shocking, and the wheels kept running. And I know that he was very appreciative of that.
Mhm.
And even speaking with the family, I mean, it doesn't stop. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because really, the citizens of Baker County are our clients. They're our consumers, and that's what we're here to do, is to serve each and every department. We're here to serve the people of Baker County. And so that was his whole motto, and that's why he did what he did. So very blessed and fortunate to serve with him, and definitely gonna be missed.
Mr. Chairman, I have one thing. Tallahassee, is it when is the?
Thursday.
This Thursday. I know I'm flying out to Honduras Thursday, so I can't make it.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering how many commissioners was gonna be able to make it Thursday to the small county thing at Tallahassee.
I think Commissioner Mann is the only one that would have the flexibility to be able to go. But we have 6 staff members that will be there as well.
Yeah, I've seen that. That was good. I was gonna ask you
Yes, sir.
about the staff members,
Yes, sir.
and you already have everything set up.
Yes, sir.
Do you have something that we're gonna be giving out? or-
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We've got our booth space is secured. We rent that from a place in Tallahassee, and they set it up for us. But we do still have to get there early in the day. I think we're leaving out about 5:30 Thursday morning. But we're heading over. Like I said, there's 6 of us that are going over early to get the booth set up. We've reached out to Senator Bradley and Representative Brannon. They, of course, will swing by and speak to us, but we do have some office hours with Representative Brannon that morning. Chris Doolin will be there with us also. So, yes, sir, we've got a full day planned.
When we're meeting with representatives, we need to talk about the property tax
Absolutely.
revenue issue.
Yes, sir.
They're talking to everybody about it. There's 7 House joint resolutions that are all moving right this second.
Mhm.
So we just don't want to drop the ball on that. That would be devastating to Baker County.
Yep.
You talk about we don't have services for Baker County now.
Mhm.
If the property tax thing goes on the ballot and people vote it in,
We
you can
wouldn't have
forget
departments.
recreation.
We wouldn't have departments, yeah.
I would say
Several departments.
craft your argument well, because what's happening is the legislature's gonna tell you that they'll rebate the money back. So
Yeah.
for the 24 small counties,
Mhm.
it's roughly a little more than $600 million. They said, well, we're gonna pay you that back for the next 5 years. Where we should worry is after 5 years.
What's going to happen for the next 20 years or 30 years?
After 5 years is where we should be worried.
And then I'm considered small counties, but it's devastating to Jacksonville.
Mid-sized counties.
Any county. This is, we're talking about devastating legislation
Pretty quick turnaround, I think I'm losing.
that the governor's
It will
put forward.
change
I
the-
like the governor.
change
Don't get
the
me
whole
wrong.
state of
This is one
Florida.
thing I disagree. He's come out with some asinine plan that you can do away with property taxes, but has not come up with any idea on how we get the money till the counties can run. It looks good on paper, but it don't make a hill of business sense. It's not like that other thing we was talking about earlier. There's people sitting up in them big buildings over there making these decisions that don't have a flipping clue on what's going on the local level.
There was
It
even
was-
talk of combining counties and doing away with, only have 40 counties in the state of
Yeah, if you
Florida.
happen to swing by Representative Duggan's office, Wyman Duggan, who has actually appeared before you.
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
He's the one behind that one.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Behind it, which way?
He's the one
He's
that,
the-
Pushing to consolidate
all the
counties.
counties to
Push
be.
him right on out of here.
That was
Baker
something,
County, I'm gonna fight for Baker County. I think I do.
that was something that I have already reached out to our finance director to try to work on getting a number on, what is the homestead
The
exemption
impact,
or the ad valorem taxes that we currently have, how much of an impact it will be. Right now, roughly, very, very roughly, it's about 31%.
That's right.
So of our total budget.
Yeah.
So that's 31%.
And what do you pay out of that
Total ad
budget?
valorem.
Solid waste?
I'm sorry, ad valorem, yes.
We pay solid waste along, because we help it, we fund it,
Yep.
half of it. We fund our fire, rescue. What are we gonna do about the
Animal
police?
control.
You call police, you ain't got no policeman.
Well, the
This-
funny thing is, they keep
You-
saying public safety is gonna be held
Yes.
harmless.
Yeah,
So what's gonna happen is, all your other services, your roads, your parks, all that stuff is
No
gonna take a
animal
harder
control.
hit.
No, nothing.
Right, those
No
will take a harder
recreation,
hit.
nothing.
Sheriff's office uses-
Because The pitch right now is fire safety, paramedics, and police aren't gonna take a hit.
And how? They say a lot of stuff, but I ain't seen nothing on paper, no numbers, or how they gonna do it. They're gonna write us a check.
If you ask,
Do you believe, no, I'll ask you this, do you believe that the next governor is gonna honor what this governor does? Every time you change governors or you change heads, they got their own head, and they start thinking, well, I'm not gonna do that. I didn't make that decision. And then the counties and the people are the ones gonna be suffering. If you don't believe that's the case, look between Biden and Trump. Look at the difference in 1 year.
Yep.
but if you want those numbers, Representative Brandon, he can get those numbers in a day for you. Don't kill yourself trying to figure it out.
I'm just so aggravated with Tallahassee, I tell you, I better stay in Baker County.
They seem to be throwing a lot of things in the pot,
A lot.
and they don't know what they're cooking, so. Okay,
I like that. Write that down for me. I've never heard that one before.
well,
Maybe that'll be on our minutes, so I'll remember that.
Get you a
What'd you say
t-shirt
again,
made
though?
that says
they're
that.
throwing a lot of things in the pot, but they don't know what they're
I'll use
cooking.
that in Tallahassee, they don't know what I'm talking about.
Back on
I'm sorry.
Commissioner Hartley's point about the Ag Center, I've asked Sarah to look at fee schedules. The board will have to approve of a new fee schedule for the Ag Center, and I'd like to get that approved. So when it is finalized, we're able to move forward. There's already people wanting to schedule things in May and June, and they need to know what that fee schedule is so they can make their decisions. So I've asked her to go ahead and put something together on that fee schedule. Another thing I've asked Sarah to look into with the clerk's office is the budget schedule. I do not want to wait until the first meeting in August to start talking about the budget this year. Whether that's late June or 2 meetings in July, we need a schedule that the clerk's office can live with and that we can live with, so we can get that out to the constitutional officers and tell them this is the schedule that we're working on. I don't want to wait until the last minute and try and cram it all in. So I've asked Sarah to look into that. I've heard everybody comment on the boat ramp. Just like everybody else, I'm not pleased with where it is or where it's going. I understand we can't modify what's there because we lose FEMA funding if we do. I've asked Commissioner Mobley and talked with him about being more involved with the FEMA conversation, and he's agreed to take that on. But we need to look at what we're doing there and see if there's any way, because at this pace, we're going to wait another year before the boat ramp's open. So that'll be 3 years.
And
Welcome
I'm questioning if we're
to
even gonna get any FEMA
government.
money to fix it.
You're used to the public
Wait
sector,
this
ain't you?
Private, yeah, industry.
You're a whole different ballgame now, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, there's at a point, I know a lot of people that will donate and help get that thing back open. So it's trying to make a decision at what point do we say heck with it and figure it out.
Keep it where it's at and just fix it.
No, I think we need to wait on FEMA. Because
You're
there's
gonna
no-
have to wait on FEMA.
There's no need in spending private dollars on a boat ramp that we can get FEMA funding for. Now, if they want to donate some money, we do need some more help in the recreation side.
Yeah.
And that's still to do with the recreation, the boat launch and all. But if they're willing to give us the money, I hate to tell you, because I'm hard about it too, be patient. The money's coming. Don't throw it away. Until they say you're not getting the money, just wait on the money.
And it's moving through. It's slowly.
It's
but
working.
It's moving through.
I talked to, you ain't gonna find two guys working harder on FEMA than what we already have. I can tell you, they probably driving FEMA crazy. So I'm
The
just
best
telling
case
you.
scenario is relocating it. Where it's at, it's going to continue to
Right.
do what it's
Right.
doing now.
And we're trying to
and
relocate it, so
relocating it
let the
makes the
process-
best long-term sense.
I understand your frustration, I got the
Yeah.
same, but just don't get so frustrated if we lose focus on, let's let the process work. If it doesn't work, they say, we're not gonna fund it, then we can talk. But let the process work. I know we can just keep asking questions, but I'm telling you, if they're gonna give us that money, we need to take that money. And save county money and save our public money. And we can invest it in, Schultz Park needs investment, our recreation for our kids needs investment. If people wants to donate money, I got plenty of places. But we have plenty of places in the county that our kids need help. And they can donate there. But I appreciate y'all's frustration.
Yep. I
Y'all
think
ain't been
everybody
in
feels it.
This business for 16 years now, like I have, so just be,
No, coming from the business world and waiting 3 years on something is unthinkable, so.
I've waited 13 years on a senior center.
I can believe it. And still,
Still kind of waiting on it.
And still
yep,
waiting.
still finishing.
But we do have a kitchen and we have a transportation center. So I'm telling you, from an old man, talking to a young man and another old man, be patient, because if it's meant to happen, God's gonna make it happen.
Amen.
Sometimes it's in His time and not our time.
Yeah, absolutely,
So
every
be
time.
patient.
That's it.
We know the money's coming, be patient.
Yep. As far as Commissioner Bennett, he'll be with every one of us from now on. There's no denying that. He'll be with Baker County from now on. He made a difference, and I pray we honor him and what he's meant to the county as we go forward. That's all I got.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
Move to adjourn.